Time for JesterEngine.com's Daily Tech Rundown. Good morning, I'm Alex, and with me is Priya. Big space news to kick us off. NASA has pushed the Artemis II crewed lunar flyby to February 8 because of an extreme cold snap at the Florida launch site. And that date is getting extra attention since it lines up with big public events. Quick recap, 4 astronauts, a lunar flyby, and a return to Earth. First crewed flight around the moon in over 50 years. But the delay isn't just weather, it comes amid renewed safety questions after Artemis I showed unexpected heat shield damage.
Morning, Alex. Morning, listeners. Yep, weather's the proximate cause, but the underlying story is more complicated. Engineers want to protect the rocket and ground systems from cold temperature effects on seals, propellant behavior, and support equipment. At the same time, experts are debating whether NASA's mitigation strategy for heat shield damage, mainly changing re-entry profiles to be gentler rather than hardware repairs, is prudent for a crewed flight.
That softer re-entry approach sounds like trading one risk for another. What do the safety critics actually argue in plain terms?
Critics say the observed damage on Artemis I suggests a vulnerability in the thermal protection system. Their contention is that relying on a shallower, slower re-entry trajectory, which reduces heating, is a workaround, not a fix. They argue you'd want to address root causes in the hardware or shielding design before sending humans. Supporters counter that the re-entry profile is a validated engineering option and that additional inspections, simulations, and contingencies have been added. It's a classic tension. Schedule and public visibility versus absolute conservatism and crew safety.
And politically or publicly, how does that play out? It's not just engineers watching this.
Right. This mission is a showpiece for U.S. space policy. Publicly visible, internationally partnered, with commercial contractors involved. Any sign of rushing can fuel criticism about prioritizing milestones and optics over rigor. Meanwhile, NASA will emphasize transparency and the steps taken to verify crew safety. But the optics of delays and safety debates will likely stay front and center.
Okay, let's watch Feb 8 then. If you had to boil it down, hopes high, caution advisable. Let's move on. Switching gears from rockets to court files, DOJ released documents containing emails between Elon Musk and Jeffrey Epstein from around 2012-2014. Some messages show Musk asking about visiting Epstein's private island and Epstein offering to send a helicopter. Musk denies he ever went, and the documents don't allege criminal conduct by Musk, but they've reignited media scrutiny.
It's a sticky mix of provenance and context. These records contain a lot of unverified material, and release of archival communications often leads to new lines of inquiry, even when there's no allegation of wrongdoing. For tech leaders like Musk, the reputational risk is real, even if nothing illegal occurred. Reporters would try to corroborate travel logs and witness accounts, but readers should be careful not to equate presence in emails with guilt.
So from a technology industry perspective, why should engineers and leaders care beyond the headlines?
2 reasons. First, high-profile executives are under unusual scrutiny. Private communications can become public and affect companies, stock prices, and partnerships. Second, there is an operational lesson. Decision-makers should expect historical records, emails, texts, calendars, to surface, so minimizing risky interactions and documenting legitimate engagements is prudent. It's a reminder that personal conduct and corporate governance intersect.
And until corroborating evidence appears, the headline is, emails exist, visit unproven, Musk denies. Onward. Next up, a political and intelligence angle. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard was present during an FBI raid at a Fulton County, Georgia election office. That raised bipartisan questions about why the DNI, who oversees foreign intelligence, would be on site for a domestic law enforcement action.
Exactly. DOJ officials, including the Deputy Attorney General, defended her presence, saying it shouldn't surprise people given interagency cooperation. But critics from both parties, including former AG Eric Holder and former President Trump, said it's concerning. The key issue is the legal and institutional boundary between foreign intelligence and domestic law enforcement. The DNI's mandate traditionally excludes domestic investigative roles, so even a consultative presence can trigger alarm.
Is this just political theater, or could it change practice?
Both. Politically, it's combustible, and it will likely prompt lawmakers to ask for clearer rules about what senior intelligence officials can do in domestic investigations. Practically, agencies will probably review written protocols and interagency memoranda to ensure activities are on firm legal footing. For intelligence pros, this is a reminder that visible actions by senior leaders invite scrutiny and may necessitate tighter governance.
Nicely put. Boundaries matter. Now for something last item, a social media mystery. Cricket superstar Virat Kohli, who has over 274 million followers, briefly vanished from Instagram late January 29/30. The account reappeared hours later with no official explanation, and his brother's account was reportedly affected as well.
Fans freaked out, naturally. From a tech standpoint, it could be any number of things: a platform glitch, a temporary suspension, a targeted account issue, or a settings change. For public figures, sudden platform disappearance is a risk to audience engagement and brand partnerships. The safe takeaway? Teams managing celebrity accounts should have rapid incident response plans and cross-platform redundancies.
Any fun conspiracy theories floating around?
Of course, everything from a planned digital detox to a secret message in Morse code. But most plausible is a technical hiccup or an accidental deactivation. Unless the player posts a dramatic reveal, we'll probably never know.
Well, I'm holding out for the Morse code reveal. That's our show. Quick, wide-ranging, and mildly conspiratorial. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Alex. We'll be back tomorrow with more tech, policy, and the occasional sports account drama. Stay curious and skeptical. The preceding audio summary was created at jesterengine.com, where you can find and verify the original sources.